Hi and welcome everybody. This is Jamie Champion, developer of the Vibrancy Path. And I want to thank you for joining us here tonight for this introduction to the Vibrancy Signature. And it's a prelude to our trip to Tampa, October 18th through 20th. So welcome.
Yes, hello, I'm Chaya Champion, and I'm so grateful for you taking the time to be with us right now. We are excited to be going to Tampa, where we'll be offering Vibrancy Signature sessions in the Convention Center during the Juice Plus conference. And we just want to give a special thanks and shout out to Jennifer Myers and Janice Gebhardt for their so much support they've given us in this work. Jennifer was going to introduce us tonight, but she's on vacation and she was unsure about what kind of signals she could get up in the mountains. But both Jennifer and Janice have been huge supporters of the Vibrancy Path for many years. They have encouraged friends and colleagues and business associates to see us from everything from severe health issues to raising healthy and balanced children to clearing blocks to business success. We're going to have a chance to touch on all those things in the next 45 minutes or so and tell you how the Vibrancy Signature relates to all those different areas of your life.
Yeah, and tonight, basically, we're introducing you to the Vibrancy Signature and really the benefits of understanding it and how it can really impact every area of your life. And Jennifer always likes to have me stress the healing benefits of knowing your Vibrancy Signature as well. So we're excited. This is our favorite topic in the whole world, is to talk about the Vibrancy Signature. And we're going to be going over a little bit of the logistics of the trip to Tampa, how to sign up for your evaluation. We're going to cover tonight the coaching sessions that you can initially get when you sign up for your Vibrancy Signature, and also a special little deal that we're offering for this upcoming Tampa trip. And at the end of the talk, we're going to actually, if anybody has any questions, you'll notice that in the chat box, you can ask questions of us throughout the presentation, and we're going to leave some time at the end to answer those questions.
And I just want to check, you are hearing us, correct?
Good, thumbs up is good. All right,
okay,
awesome.
good.
Awesome,
good.
Awesome. Good.
Wonderful. So you are in the right place if you have a craving for living your greatest life. If you want to understand your soul's purpose, why you're here and how you can live in alignment with that purpose. If you are someone who would like to have a deep sense of fulfillment and contentment, that's what we can help you with. Your Vibrancy Signature holds the keys to those grand concepts in a way that's very practical and very usable and very down to earth. So here's an overview of what you can have when you understand your Vibrancy Signature and you're putting its tools into practice. First of all, you'll have a clear understanding of your gifts and talents that you've come into this life to express and how they create your soul's purpose. As it relates to the business areas of your life, you'll know these key secrets that are unique to you that'll help you build a prosperous, successful business, different from how other people will do it. You'll have your own special sauce, your own special way, and the gifts that you need to bring out. You'll be able to stay true to the bigger version of your soul's purpose while you're building your business so that doesn't get lost. You'll have new ideas how to keep your business and personal life in balance. I know that's a really big one these days. In the relationship realm, you'll feel more empowered to build close, connected relationships. You'll know what you need in relationships to really feel loved, feel connected, to feel seen, and to really feel your love flowing out more easily to others. So it helps you build really juicy relationships. Ultimately, you're going to have a whole new path that you can follow to improve all elements of your mental, physical, and emotional health, but from a really core energetic level.
And you're also in the right place if you're a parent and you just ache to help your kids grow up in a more conscious, healthy, alive, inspired way. I mean, the work that we do with parents and their kids is very inspiring for us because we get to help people really not only kind of get each other, but understand how that thriving is going to take place. And because when you understand their Vibrancy Signatures, you're going to know how to reach them. You're going to know where they're going to feel loved, where they're going to be seen, where they're going to be really heard in a very deep, profound way. You'll be able to avoid a lot of the arguments and tensions that come up because let's face it, we all have our biases when it comes to, well, this is the way I did it. The vibrancy signature gives you a way of understanding that other person's way of looking at life. And you'll be able to really encourage them towards the classes and the future that they're ultimately going to be thriving in. And you'll discover practical ways to reach that potential, not only for yourself, but as I said, for your kids. But before we go into a deeper discussion of the vibrancy signature, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I think I really started on the vibrancy path for myself as a pre-med student. I was always interested in health and healing and trying to understand what makes each of us healthy, what makes each of us come alive. And I took an eye-opening class my sophomore year of college. It was called Western versus non-Western medicine. And in that class, it was the first time I was exposed to energetic medicine, which is essentially an understanding of what literally holds this human body together, the energetic patterns that hold us together, what makes each of us completely unique. And I was fascinated by one particular field of energetic medicine that described how the soul comes into the body and what it shows up as in terms of these amazing frequencies of energy. So that's essentially the beginning of my discovery of the vibrancy path and the whole energetic anatomy basis for this work. But after college, I directed a cancer retreat center that was focusing on raw food and healthy nutrition. And at the time, if you can believe it, the American Cancer Society and the Heart Association at the time said there was no link between nutrition and heart disease and no link between nutrition and cancer. So I've been a nutritionist all these years. That was what I got my degree in human nutrition. And what I found out when people are shifting their lifestyle with healthy nutrition, it's a big component of our health. But while I was there, people would stay for anywhere between 2 to 8 weeks. And in that time, many of those people that made these dietary changes would have miraculous recoveries, really have amazing shifts in their health and well-being. Most that were there were having some terminal diagnosis with cancer. But there was a certain percentage that didn't respond just to the nutrition. And I knew that something was missing. And it became really my passion to say, what was missing besides just the healthy lifestyle? What was going on in people's lives that was also contributing to their joy, their health, their happiness? And so it became my mission really to understand that from a deeper perspective, from a soul's perspective, and really get to the core of what creates health and happiness and thriving from the inside out. And I've been really dedicated all these years to helping people discover that for themselves. And that's what led me to discovering the vibrancy signature and really the essence of what creates a successful, happy, healthy life. And so with the tools of the vibrancy path, we're going to help you learn to live in alignment with who you are at a soul vibrational level. And you can discover your soul's purpose and ultimately clear any patterns or blocks that are keeping you from learning to just be yourself. That's really the beauty of our work. So in about 19 years ago, I had moved to Virginia, and I had a client that showed up with 2 dogs, and they were running around my front yard of the home I was living in. And I'm going to let Chaya tell you the next part of the story.
Well, it's definitely a life-changing day for both of us, wasn't it?
It was.
So, yeah, I was about 31 at the time, and I was in the middle of this quest, or well, I was towards the tail end at that point, I guess, of this quest to discover what my life purpose was, and to find a career where I could really contribute and really enjoy my day-to-day existence. I think 2 things made that drive in me really strong. The first is that I grew up with a dad who I adored, but who absolutely hated his work. And every morning he just drug himself out of bed and he drug himself to the job. And it got to a point on Friday evenings he was depressed because there was only 2 days off before he'd have to go back again. And I think on some level I had this commitment that would never ever happen to me, that I wasn't going to live my life that way. The other thing was that I was, for the first 25 years of my life, I was a high-level athlete. So I won an Olympic bronze medal in 1988 in platform diving. So I had this experience with what it feels like to have a great dream and a great goal, and have something to get up for every day that I love doing. And so when diving was over, it's like, okay, now what? Because I hadn't really trained myself that well to do much else. I was dabbling in alternative healing and dabbling in psychology, but I really hadn't found the thing. And I spent about 7 years really spinning, really aching, a lot of depression, mostly because I just felt like I don't know who I am. I knew who I was when I was the diver. But after that, I didn't have an identity. I didn't know who I was at the core. And I didn't know what was going to feed me. I was just having all these experiences life saying, well, that wasn't it. Well, I don't love this, you know? And I was like, let's try to figure out how to be more proactive. So I was taking all these tests. I was on a career search. I was taking all the written tests that ask you, trying to help you figure out what you'd be good at. And I just kept feeling like, I'm not going to find it here. I know that. And then one day, the universe put me on Jamie's path, and I ended up in his office. A friend said, I think this guy can really help you discover what you love and what you're going to be great at. And basically, 20 minutes into my session, I was jumping up and down out of my chair because I said, this is it. I found it. This is what I want to do with my life. You have to train me. You have to hire me. And I don't know if he said the word ma'am, but I remember it as Jamie saying, okay, ma'am, but please, I think we just should finish your session first. Anyway, it was all over. He didn't have any choice in the matter, I don't think. My enthusiasm was so great. And truly, it is the greatest blessing of my life. I do a lot of things here to help our business move forward, but the most favorite moments are when I'm sitting down one-on-one in a session with somebody, teaching them about what their vibrancy signature is, coaching them how to use that in their life, how to bring these gifts and talents forward, how to create a life that they can just love. You can get up every day and love who you are and what you do and who you're surrounded by and how you spend your time. So that was the day that changed both of our lives, and here we are 19 years later, still developing, still tweaking, still working together, and we're just really grateful that you're here and we have a chance to share this with you tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the beautiful things that we're going to go over tonight is really a kind of a simple, clear understanding of if I can get my mouse to work. Oh, it's on the wrong thing. There we go. Really a clear understanding of the different ways in which you use the vibrancy signature process in your day-to-day life. So we're going to share a little screen with you here. We'll go back. That's cool. So let's just go back a couple. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that is it. Cool. All right, awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about what specifically your vibrancy signature is. As I mentioned, I had been a student of energetic medicine and understanding this blueprint of the human body. There's a wonderful physician by the name of Dr. Randolph Stone who developed polarity therapy, and he called the body the wireless anatomy. And so your vibrancy signature is essentially the wireless anatomy. It's the energetic frequencies that are flowing in and around your body, and each person has 14 unique frequencies. Kind of think of it like there's a 12-string guitar. Well, every human being is like a 14-stringed instrument, and each one of those strings is a particular frequency of light that gives you your unique personality, your unique disposition.
So when people talk about knowing their colors, that's what, well, in our system, if they know our work and they talk about knowing their colors, that's what they're talking about, because each one of these frequencies, Jamie's measuring as a color.
Exactly. And what I do is I touch specific pulse points, very simple, it's not painful, very gently, and it's kind of like a musician listening with their ear. I'm putting my hand on these energetic pulse points, which are vibrating at very subtle levels of light. And I use a little chart, and I can figure out what that corresponding frequency is, just like a musician can hear a note and go down the keyboard and say it's C sharp. So each one of these color frequencies that we pick up is vibrating, as we said, to a specific color, which we also synonymously call a power. It's like a strength. So as an example, if we looked at the color nectarine, which is kind of an orangey shade of color, it's the power of leadership, how you make good decisions in life. The color blue-green, one of Chaya's beautiful colors, is the power of enthusiasm. So if you want to tell people how passionate you are about something in life, doing it with some enthusiasm is a good thing. And people with this blue-green energy, as Chaya attested, you could just see, has kind of hardwired with natural enthusiasm. In this picture that we're showing you on the screen is a cute little girl making a little heart sign, and she would be representing her. She says in the graphic, it says, "My superpower is kindness." We would call this the color pink, kind of similar to what Chai is wearing, and we call that the power of love. So love, kindness, gentleness. So some people are literally hardwired to be sweet and kind and gentle, and that's just in their vibrancy signature.
It's not that we don't all need to learn that. We do. So there's 52 different colors and powers in the system. And ideally, as a human being, we learn to master all of them. It's kind of like the alphabet. So we want to be healthy and balanced. We all want to be loving. I don't have the power of love. Jamie doesn't have the power of love, but we sure feel like we have learned to be loving, kind, gentle people. But when someone has the power of love in their vibrancy signature, depending on where it falls in their vibrancy signature, they may have to really orient their career around it. They may love working with children, like a great kindergarten teacher who's super loving and gentle. Or perhaps it's in another area of their life. So they need to know how to create their life so that it's in alignment, gives them a chance to every day really allow that gift to just flow freely out to the world.
Yeah, yesterday I just did the vibrancy signature of a 17-year-old. And she had pink in her vibrancy signature. And one of the things she wants to do is become a vet. Yeah. So again, when you're in the business of working, like Chaya said, with small animals or little babies or little beautiful, sweet puppies and kitties, you got to have that sweet connection.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so your vibrancy signature.
So one time we did the math. How many different vibrancy signatures could there be in the world? Because people would always ask us, well, are there two people exactly alike? We got out this little, it was a little bejeweled calculator, and we wrote down all the variables, because there's a lot of different variables that make a person's vibrancy signature unique. And we started doing the math. Well, add in this variable and add in that variable, and we were, I don't know, a little more than halfway through the variables, and my calculator wouldn't go any higher. And it took us a while to figure out how to even say that number, what that number would be called, but we were at 5 quintillion. So trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. I didn't need to know any further. We're not mathematicians. For me, that satisfied my need to understand, could there be two people exactly alike? My guess is, with those odds, not only is the answer no, but the answer is maybe no, not ever in the history of the planet. So what that means is that you are truly one of a kind. Perhaps no one has ever walked the earth before that had your exact combination of powers or of gifts and talents, however you'd like to think about it. You have come at this time for a specific reason and to fulfill a specific purpose, not just for yourself, but for everyone that you come in contact with in your life. So for me, that took me to a really spiritual place, understanding how absolutely no two people have ever been alike, and how important it is for us to get to know what our vibrancy signature is and how we can best bring it to life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a gift for us to do this work, because we get to watch people light up. I remember many years ago, there was a line of people that was getting their vibrancy signatures done, and this one woman came out of the session, and her friend said, "Well, how was it? How was it?" She goes, "I'm perfect just the way I am." And that's one of the beautiful things about our work, is just being able to describe in detail what that perfection is, and how you ultimately, like any good musician, can tune your instrument, tune yourself to those perfect notes that make you special, and, as Chaya said, one of a kind. So we're going to actually be going through in detail all of the ways in which you can understand these multifaceted parts of you.
So one of the things I think is fun to play with, and you know, a lot of people talk about their colors, they talk about their powers, but a really powerful metaphor we work with also is, instead of just thinking of them as colors or powers, think of these as the different parts of you, right? And these parts of you, it's like they're telling you what the owner's manual of your life is. You know, when you are healthy with all of these powers and they're really flowing freely through you, you're going to attract the kind of people you want to attract. You're going to attract the kind of situations you want to attract. But what we want to do is get to know each member of this team and make sure not only that each one is healthy and getting its needs met and having a chance to really flow out of your life, but also that they are working together. Because sometimes we have colors that are very, very different. Like in some of the examples we gave earlier, if you are a nectarine and a pink, you've got this very strong leader color, power of leadership, and then pink, power of love, you've got this really sweet, gentle color, which would be a great combination for someone like Yvette. The pink can be the gentle and loving, and the nectarine can run a great business. But we want to make sure that these parts of you are working together. So it's kind of like each one of these colors is very specific, like its own unique character on your team, with its own voice, its own desires, its own needs in your life. That's one of the ways we really talk about how to apply it. Because when we talk about what does this part of you need, what kind of environment does it need, what kind of people does it need, what kind of hobbies are going to fulfill and feed this part of you. So it's kind of like understanding the unique nutrition, quote unquote, that you need so that you feel like you're living in alignment with who you were born to be. One of the things that's really interesting, we're going to go into in a few minutes, is how each one of these parts of you relates to your health as well. So as we often find ourselves out of balance with these different parts of us based on childhood issues, based on the bumps and bruises of life. And what happens is then we end up struggling in career, we struggle in relationships, we've got these blocks we can't work through, and ultimately it usually shows up in our health. And we've got unexplained health issues we can't quite get to the bottom of.
So, you know, that's one of the things that you'll find as when Chai does your session. Most of the time we recommend Chai because it's like all she does is, this is her expertise. She's become like the foremost expert at talking about people's vibrancy signatures. But one of the things you'll find is that you're gonna, as you hear this information reflected in, you know, in perfect strangers that meet you, and then ultimately, as people say, you know, when we have husbands and wives do this together, they'll say, you know me better than my husband, or you know me better than, you know. So this is just such a deep level of understanding oneself. But we are looking essentially at giving you a chance to be the leader of this amazing team within you. And when you can get all these parts of you working smoothly together, that's ultimately what happiness is, it's what success is, it's what vitality is. It's literally people are consciously allowing all these beautiful, multi-dimensional parts of your personality to be expressed and to shine.
Yeah. So there are so many applications for our work, the vibrancy path and the vibrancy signature, which is part of the vibrancy path. But tonight we are going to go over 5 key reasons why you might want to understand your vibrancy signature and really get clear on your soul's purpose. And to help you remember it, we're going to use this acronym CRAVE. So let's start with the C.
Let's start with the C. So C stands for career, and it's all about, you know, finding that job that you love, finding that passion, you know. And I know that we've loved over the years. We've probably, I'm not sure how many people in the Juice Plus community we've done, but evaluated, but it's at least a few hundred. And one of the cool things is that people on the same career path may find very different strategies for that keys to success. Some people might say, hey, you know, my life's ambition is to enjoy life and have fun, and I want to make a career helping people in this really fun way. Somebody else might be, you know, loving nutrition, and somebody else. So what we help people do is understand what's going to be your unique skill set that you can bring to make it easy to be successful in whatever career you choose. So if you're choosing this career of wellness and healthy nutrition and healthy lifestyle, we're basically when you learn about your career colors that are shaping and supporting the way you want to make a difference in the world. And it's like, and you can never retire from this part of you, because it's literally what's keeping you young. It's keeping you engaged. It's keeping your body strong and healthy when you're contributing from this, what we call career aspect of your vibrancy signature.
Yeah, even if you're in a stage in your life where you're not in a career, you're retired, or for your kids and they're not in a career yet, we still need an outlet for these energies. That's really what we're talking about. We're talking about harnessing these energies. So some of those energy patterns and their corresponding colors, and therefore their powers, are what we want to make sure you are really capturing and unleashing for your career. And when you do that, people will hear you, people will see you, people will get you. At the end of the day, you don't feel exhausted, you feel enlivened. So even if, 100 people that have this exact same career, but they're all bringing different gifts to it. So we want to make sure that you know which gifts and which parts of you to tap into to share your work through.
Yeah, and that's why, with Jennifer and Janice over the years, every time they learn about the colors of one of their team members, or you learn about your team that you're creating, it's kind of like if you imagine you're an orchestra leader and you don't have any idea who's playing what instrument. There's just all these people in the room, and you're trying to motivate them and inspire them and help them and encourage them, but you have no idea really what their timing is and their skill sets are. The moment you know somebody's vibrancy signature, not only do you understand your skill set and what you need to thrive and be happy and successful, but you're going to also start to understand that with all the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So that's the C in crave. So let's look at the R. What's the R, Chai?
Relationships.
Relationships.
So some of your team members, some of these powers are in charge of your relationships, all of them, with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends, with your family members, with your friends. We've all had those relationships where maybe it's even a family member, you love them, but you can't quite access it. You don't feel close. You don't feel connected. What is so empowering when you know your vibrancy signature is you know what you need to feel loved and connected. You're not waiting for the other person to guess, or even worse, to figure it out. So what happens is we help you understand which parts of you are in charge of your relationships and how you can take care of them, so that you come to the relationship 100% full, ready to bring those gifts out, and to let this friend or this family member or this partner know, look, here's my biggest gift to this relationship. I really would like to see that you honor it and you engage with it. Let's do these kinds of things together, because that's going to really engage that part of me. And when that relationship part of you is engaged, when you're with another person, you don't feel disconnected. You don't wonder why they feel so far away. You're like, oh, there it is. I totally love them. I can totally feel that. And I feel loved, and I feel seen, and I feel appreciated. But it starts with you. We can't wait for the other person to guess or to figure it out, or just, go through life with a hit and miss, right? So if you want juicy relationships, empower yourself to know what these parts of you really need, so that you can bring that to the table in a relationship. You're bringing your greatest gifts for the other people to enjoy and to grow from, and you are encouraging them to see that and to engage with those parts of you.
It's like taking a love strategy to a whole nother level of awareness and application for having a great personal life.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at the A of...
Oh, actually, we're going to talk about kids and the vibrancy.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, as a relationship dynamic, our colors are hereditary. So basically, if you have biological children, oftentimes they're potentially getting one of your unique vibrancy signature powers or colors.
One to two.
One to two. Sometimes they skip generations. Occasionally, when we have let's say a mother and daughter that are not connecting, just not understanding one another, it's like, well, they have nothing in common at this core energetic level. So that all the more reason why they now have literally like a language translator that says, okay, I get why we've been missing, because this is the way I communicate, here's the way you communicate. Now we have a way to translate and understand each other at a whole nother level. So this is what's so valuable for, literally life-saving for many relationships, because when you think you have to give up because you just don't get each other, this is like an instant way to go, oh, of course, that's why you have felt disconnected, or why we have felt that coldness.
And it just takes so much of the guesswork out when you know your kids' colors. It takes so much of the guesswork out of raising them, because you know what activities are going to feed them. So you're not surprised when they want to quit soccer, right? You're like, oh, of course they want to quit soccer. We're not going to go around on that, because that makes perfect sense. That fits. Of course they want to try this thing. I'm going to make sure I get it in my budget that, a kid with a lot of artistic colors and powers gets money to do artistic things. Let's make sure that we funnel some of the budget towards art classes or music classes, excuse us. So, it takes some of the sting out of, or some of the momentum out of you pushing your own agenda. You can see what it is they want, what it is they need, where they're going to thrive, and encourage. And what we see, and we've been together long enough and worked with families long enough, we've worked with Jennifer Meyer's kids for a decade or so, and Janice's kids, and when we've seen these kids grow up, and many, many more. And as the parents are nurturing these beautiful powers in them, the kids are balanced, they're healthy, they're happy, they're choosing college majors that are in alignment, they're choosing careers that are in alignment with who they are. They don't have to waste, years and wake up one day at 40 and say, how did I land in this career? I hate it. I'm miserable, and my marriage is falling apart because I'm so depressed and I hate my life. So if
we see a lot of that too.
We see a lot of that too. We see a lot of people coming in with that. If you're going to be in Tampa,
it's never too late to get back on track. Never too late.
If you're going to be in Tampa, if you've got kids that can be in Tampa with you or are going to be in Tampa with you, please get them to us as well. This is a great opportunity for that.
Great. All right, so let's look at the A of crave. The A is for abundance.
Yeah, so we all know now at this point, abundance isn't just about money. It's about health. It's about love. It's about fulfillment. It's about also financial prosperity. So when you know who you are, it's like you've tapped into the gold mine. And when you really get yourself healthy and in alignment with who you were born to be, and you clear these blocks away that have been getting in the way of you really letting these gifts flow, you become such a magnet. You become such a magnet for all of the things that you want, that are going to feel right to you, that are going to create that sense of fulfillment. So that's really our take on abundance. Be who you are, be who you were born to be, and that's what creates abundance.
Yeah, because you see that people in life, when they start to really get clear on their values and their priorities, it's like that's the stuff that when you know your vibrancy signature, you can create that richness inside yourself every day, because you know what makes you happy, what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel fulfilled, what gives you that sense of purpose in life.
And just another plug, if you will, for not only learning your own vibrancy signature, but any other team members that you've got coming. I know that if you have downline, one of your goals is to help them create abundance. I just assumed that would be true. You want to help them create abundance. You want to help them be successful. You want to coach them. And yes, there is a system in Juice Plus, and we want everybody to follow the system, but there are going to be unique needs for each person. So how this person follows the system and how that person follows the system and what this person can bring into it. When you know their colors and powers, you know how to coach them. We happen to believe, personally believe this is one of the single most valuable tools any coach can have. And even though you might not be a life coach or an actual coach, you will be coaching your downline on how to be successful in Juice Plus business. And the more it can be personal to them, the more you can tap into what their gifts are and speak right to them and who they are, the more they're going to hear you, the more you're going to motivate them, the more they're going to take action that's in alignment with who they are, and then therefore find the work fun and stick with it and ultimately find that abundance.
Absolutely. All right, let's look at the V of crave, which is vibrancy. And I love this word, vibrancy. That's why we we called when we were rebranding ourselves many years ago, we said, what would be the most cool name that we could live into on a day-to-day basis? And we said, well, we could go to work on the vibrancy path. Wouldn't that be cool? Because like every day, who would not want to be more vibrant? Who would not want to access that internal vibrancy? And that's where, you know, my passion has always been that healing part of me that said, I want to help people access their own inner vibrancy. And when they can do that, cancer, heart disease, depression, you know, you name it, is all an instrument that's out of tune. It's not tuned into life and inspiration and their own, and that joy of living. So when you understand your vibrancy signature, you are basically being given the keys to a more vibrant life, to finding out what's going to create health, what's going to create internal vibratory radiance that allows for health in all of my cells. You know, it's just, you know, nutrition obviously is a big deal, what you're putting in your body, but what you're putting in your psyche is also nutrition. What you're putting in your emotional field is nutrition. What you're putting in your psyche as a life purpose is nutrition. And the vibrancy signature is supporting you accessing all those other subtle levels of your nutritional support on a day-to-day basis.
And one of the things that, you know, Jennifer loves about this work, and as Jamie mentioned earlier, is always encouraging us to make sure we talk about the vibrancy healing aspect. When you know your vibrancy signature, there are a lot of really cool, deeper levels where you can work with us, with Jamie for the most part. If any health issue, chronic headaches, tooth pain, knee pain, you know, adrenal problems, chronic fatigue, gut issues, it doesn't matter what it is. When we know your vibrancy signature, it's like we have the blueprint to your physical body as well. Yeah. So what Jamie does, the very first session after a vibrancy signature session, if you want to go deeper, we call a vibrancy health evaluation, or sometimes we call it a vibrancy report. And Jamie, you know, takes in, you know, listens to what all the different things you want to work on, whether it's stuck in business or relationship issues or diabetes. Jamie has ways of, you know, taking this vibrancy signature and using it as a blueprint to see, well, this is ideally what it looks like. What's really going on? Where are those energy frequencies not flowing clearly? Where are the blocks that has created, whether it is a struggle in business or knee injury? You know, when you meet with us in Tampa, you have your follow-up coaching session. You know, if you like what you hear, if you resonate with us, you resonate with this work, we can talk to you about how to go deeper into the healing work and begin to get yourself, like Jamie said, tune yourself to your own instrument, so you're not having to live out of balance, out of tune, and in pain.
And that's really what we're doing always in this work, is we're coaching you on how to step into your own power, your own success in your career, step into your own radiance with your health and well-being. It's like, it's not something that we're doing to you, it's more helping you uncover what will allow that healing to take place. Because those subconscious blocks that we all have to our health and well-being and to our right livelihood are things that we can uncover with this work and really help you live a vibrant life.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and lastly, the E.
The E of crave.
Couldn't decide. Ease, enjoyment, energy.
They're all good.
It's all these things. You know, when you're living in alignment with who you are. Well, let's talk about ease. There's an ease of decision making. It's so much simpler to have a sense of, yep, that's in my life and on my path, and nope, that's not. You know, just like when you really learn about healthy food and you learn what it's doing in your body and you learn what the junk food's in your body, it becomes easier to say no to the junk, right? So when you begin to get a sense of, wow, when I do these things, they feed me at such a deep level. So let's build in more of that. And these other things, I'm aware now how they don't feed me, how they're draining me, how it's not serving me. Let's let that go. Let's let that move on out. So making decisions, anything from a big decision like a kid choosing what to major in college or whether to take a certain job, to what do you want to do on a Friday night? The little decisions, the big decisions. You're not wasting a lot of energy in trying to figure things out And you're also not wasting a lot of energy in regret, because you're not doing the things that don't fulfill you and then sitting there and hitting your head going, why did I do that? I know better, right? So you're just avoiding a lot of those things that are really draining your energy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's really all about freeing up what's potentially inside you. Sort of like that beautiful blueprint of your perfections there, but sometimes it's just like any the housekeeping of the dust, the little cracks, the little things. When we help you polish that up, there's more energy, there's more ease, there's more effortlessness in your life.
And the first step is awareness. So the first step is discovering what your vibrancy signature is. And that awareness gets you really, really far down the road. And then, as Jamie said, polishing up some of those things that can be done in the vibrancy healing work.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I love this quote. If you're not watching the video right now, it says the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. So we like to think of your vibrancy signature on some level, understanding it and discovering it and affirming it is kind of like that second birth. It's like that time in your life where you go, oh, I always knew. That was one of the things Chaya said when I told her one of her core powers was this color purple, this power of beauty and sensuality and artistry and creativity. And she had this little voice. She said, I always knew inside me that there's this little artist voice. Here she was, this, Olympic athlete, 20 years of constant day-to-day training and being this athletic stud and driven, but nobody ever spoke to the part of her that was an artist. Nobody ever really was coaching her how to embrace this incredible, creative, beautiful artistry part of her nature. So consequently, that part of her was starving. It'd be like sitting down at a table and you decide to feed 4 of your children, but the 5th kid you're deciding to, kind of put on a perpetual fast. And, that's not going to work for anybody's well-being.
Yeah. And, my diving career ended with a prolonged illness and then a really intense injury. In one moment, it was all over. And for so long, it was like, why did that happen? I mean, it just didn't make any sense. I was still pretty young. I was 24. And, I should have had some good years left in me. And it wasn't until I met Jamie and I discovered my vibrancy signature, I totally understood. I'd done a little work on the artistry part of me in the interim years before I met Jamie. But once he told me about that and I learned about how the healing relates, I totally knew that injury and that illness was a direct result of that part of me starving for so many years, even though some parts of me were totally fed by diving, but not that one.
Not that one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over a little bit of the logistics for, this says Delray, but it's Tampa.
Excuse me,
Tampa
yes,
as well.
it's Tampa. We're also going to Delray if you know people in South Florida on Sunday. But yes, this is for Tampa. So one of the things we do when we travel, and this will really serve you if you're at the Juice Plus conference, is the appointment with Jamie in Tampa is only 20 minutes. So we figured out a way for him to not be out of town for too long. And that is that he just does back-to-back 20-minute evaluations. So again, you'll come, you'll sit with him, you'll feel the energy points, he'll test, you'll walk away knowing what your 14 colors and powers are. And while you're there talking to him, he'll have my calendar as well as his own calendar, and you can schedule your session for the following weeks, depending on how far out you need it. We'll schedule your session, and that's going to be either a 1-hour session or a 2-hour session. I'll tell you about that in a second. But that's where we're going to go over what your colors and powers are, what they mean, and how to apply them to your life. The difference in the sessions are if you are someone who likes cliff notes, overview, give it to me short and sweet, Jamie's your guy for an hour. And that session, by the way, so that including the evaluation and the 1-hour appointment with Jamie, it's $195. If you'd like a whole extra hour, that's what I do. I can't do it in an hour. I need time for us to go back and forth so we can really talk about how you can use this in your life. I can give you some coaching ideas, things you can begin to practice on so that you really start enlivening these parts of you. So we both think the 2-hour session is the best one. It's $250, so we've tried to decrease that price a little bit for you so that it looks more appealing to you. So for $250, you get the evaluation in Tampa plus the follow-up phone or Zoom session if you like with me, where we're going to go over not all 14, because trust me, that is so much to learn. We're going to go over the first 5. You'll be very, very full with the first 5. And again, if it's something you resonate with and you want to go deeper, we highly recommend learning about the other 9. Every one of them is critically important. There's just a lot to learn in the first 5. And they're kind of like, to use a Juice Plus analogy, they're like your front line. So the first 5 are like your front line, and the other 9 are like your down lines. So all of them potential rock stars, but we want to get to know your front line first.
And immediately after you get your vibrancy signature evaluated, you can get a ebook that's how many pages? Like 60?
Yeah, it's
like 60-page ebook, but it's a personalized ebook that you can download onto your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, and it basically, you can start the learning process immediately with our ebook that you go get from our website.
Yeah. So here's how we do this. We've set it up so you can put down a $50 deposit. If you go to this website that is correct on that slide, www.thevibrancypath.com/V like vibrancy, S like signature, Tampa. That page tells you a little bit more about the vibrancy signature again, but there's some great big purple buttons all over the page. Sign me up, sign me up. So you want to click on that. That's going to take you to a place where you put down a $50 deposit. That's what's going to hold your appointment. After you've paid the deposit, the next screen that pops up is a really cool online scheduling tool. So you will pick your times, and we are going to be, let's see, I believe 9 to, I think it's on Thursday, Jamie starts at 9, like 9 to 4. On Friday, or no, I'm
Just
sorry. Anyway, you'll see it on the schedule, but there's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday times. On Saturday right now, there's only a couple hours in the morning. But honestly, you want to get in the sooner the better, because you're going to have a better choice of later coaching times, scheduling, getting on my calendar. So $50 deposit, then the sign-up page. And then what we're going to do on the sign-up page, you'll see we're asking for your Voxer number if you have one. And either Jennifer or Janice is going to send out a Voxer early Thursday morning or maybe Wednesday night when Jamie gets to the conference center and just kind of figures out the best place to set up. We usually set up a little bit out of the way. You can have a little bit of privacy, but not so far that it takes too long to get there.
Yeah. Good. So what we're going to do is just set this up. So if you've got any questions for us, we can answer those. If you want to put them in the chat box, we'll be able to see those.
So unmute. We'll unmute everybody so that if anybody wants to say anything.
Let's see. Fascinating. I want to confirm that that you see that I signed up for the payment area now. Thanks. Cool. Great. So yeah, Robin, we definitely we'll check that out tomorrow. We get an announcement for anybody that signs up. We get an email sent to us. So I'm sure we'll check that out. And let's see, Bridget.
Oh,
shoot.
out of town that weekend, Bridget.
Bummer. So we do travel. I mean, if you're out of town the whole weekend, this is actually the first time I'm getting back to Florida in 10 years.
Yeah, in 10 years.
But I do travel. I'm going to be in Chicago the first part of the year. I do travel around the country. We do a lot
more here in Virginia, so a lot of people will come to us. So if you can,
there's a lot of Floridians that will get a cheap flight up from Florida to the Charlottesville, Richmond, or DC airports.
Yeah.
And we've got 10 different bed and breakfasts right in our area. We'll oftentimes have people will come here, spend an afternoon getting their vibrancy signature done. They'll spend another day doing some vibrancy healing work with us. So it's a common thing. It's a great way a lot of people to get literally kind of an intensive retreat with us, and it's a lot of fun.
Brigitte, if you want, give us a call tomorrow, and we'll talk about the times we're going to be in Florida over the weekend and see if there's any way we can work them out. And if not, we'll talk about what it would look like to come here. That's probably your best bet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else? Let's see.
I thought I unmuted everybody. It's not working.
All participants are unmuted. Yeah, there. That says
okay.
I just did it manually.
I see. Okay.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, where do you live, or where's the center in Virginia?
We're about 40 minutes south of Charlottesville.
Charlottesville. Okay. All right. Very good. I live in Raleigh, so I just.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Yeah. So I would think we're about a 5-hour drive.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Keep going. Skin down.
Yeah. Oh, I think. Oh, we have more messages. We're reading our little chat messages here.
All right. She's gonna call tomorrow. Cool. Great. All right. Anybody else have any questions or? Hi, Heather. Welcome. Welcome. Anybody else have any other questions? We'd be happy to answer for you. This is one of my highlights. We live in a very rural, beautiful area in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I love meeting new people. So this is like one of my favorite things in the world. Is I usually on one of these trips I see more people in 2 days than I usually see the whole year living where we live. So
because most of his clients are long distance on the phone as well. So
it's always nice. I feel like I get to get out into the world for a few days. So it's good. It's awesome.
And I love the trips because then my calendar is full for a long time afterwards with sessions. So.
And Juice Plus puts on good parties too.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Any other questions before we let you go for the evening? Volume up. Good, good, good.
Jamie, it's Jennifer. I just want to say thank you so much to both of you guys. We're super excited to see you in Tampa, and we just appreciate your work so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We love you. We love your family. We love you. Just referred the most wonderful people to us as well. So so many of our clients, our regular weekly, bi-monthly clients have come from you, and we just love them all so much. So thank you for bringing all these people into our world.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have fun on your vacation.
We will.
Thank you, everyone.
All
See
right.
you in Tampa.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Blessings. Give us a call if you have any last questions. We're still on?
No, for you. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I said, but our business phone number is 434-361-2042. If you're having trouble signing up, if anything wasn't clear and you want to give us a call, please do.
Great. All right. Good night, everybody.